Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anisa Nurulita from 5BC class of English Department, State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya. What I would like to present today is sampling of research and methodology. Sample itself is a group of people, object, or item that are taken from a larger population for measurement. The sample should be representative of the population to ensure that we can generalize the findings from the research sample to the population as a whole. What is the purpose of sampling? The purpose of sampling is to draw conclusion about population from samples. In order to do that, we must use inferential statistics to enable us to determine a population's characteristic by directly observing only a portion or a sample of a population. There are also some measuring populations difficulty. The first one is large size of many population. The second one is inaccessibility of some of the population. Some populations are so difficult to get access to that only a sample can be used. The third one is destructiveness of the observation. The last one is accuracy and sampling. There are some sampling error also. A sample is expected to mirror the population from which it's come. However, there is no guarantee that any sample will be precisely representative of the population. Sampling error can make sample unrepresentative of its population. A main cause of sampling error is change. That is the error that occurs just because of bad luck. This may result in typical choices. Unusual units in a population do exist, and there is always a possibility that an abnormally large number of them will be chosen. The main protection against this kind of error is use a large enough sample. And then the sampling bias. Sampling bias is a tendency to favor the selection of participants that have particular characteristics. There are two causes of this type of bias. The first one is the wrong study population were selected. The second one is the study population was all-inclusive, but the poor design of the study introduced the bias. For example, only one group within the study population agreed to participate in the study. Also, non-sampling error or measurement error. A non-sampling error is an error that results solely from the manners in which the observations are made. In studies observing personal characteristics, unintended error may result from a manner in which the responses is include. The second is the social desirability of the person surveyed, the purpose of the study. The fourth one is the personal biases of the interviewer or the survey writer. Checks need to be put in place to ensure this type of error is minimal. Also, the interviewer effect. No two interviewers are alike, and the same person may provide different answers to different interviewers. This error happens if you have two interviewers for one research. And the next one is the respondent effect. Participant may deliberately give incorrect answer for many reasons. The last one is knowing the study purpose. Knowing why the study is being conducted may create incorrect responses. There are two ways to avoid this: is change your study methodology, or second, ask a sequence of questions rather than just one question. So make it several questions. Selecting the sample. The sampling error may be due to either bias or change. The change component, something called random error, exists no matter how carefully selection procedures are implemented, and the only way to minimize change sampling error is to select sufficiently large sample. Sampling bias, on the other hand, may be minimalized by the wise choice of a sampling procedure. There are some types of sample. The first one is the convenience sample. The research population is chosen out of convenience from a population for observation. The second one is purposeful sample. A sample collected from the information-rich cases for in-depth study. There are types of purposeful sample. There are extreme and deviant case sampling, intensive sampling, homogeneous sampling, typical cases sampling, stratified purposeful sampling, snowball or chain sampling, theory-based sampling, opportunistic sampling, and the last one is convenience sampling. The next one is judgment sample. The research population is obtained according to the discretion of someone or who is familiar with the research population relevant characteristics. The last one is random sample. There are some type of random sample. The first one is simple random sample, a systematic random sample, a stratified sample, a cluster sample. Sample size. A sample size, it depends on the type of data analysis to be performed, the desired precision of the estimates one wishes to achieve, the kind and number of comparisons that will be made, the number of variables that have been examined simultaneously, how heterogeneous the sample population is. Deciding on sample size for qualitative inquiry can be even more difficult than quantitative because there are no divine rule to be followed. The last one is you can choose to study on specific phenomenon in depth with a smaller sample size or bigger sample size when seeking breadth. Sampling size determination.